Good evening and welcome to Gehenna Gaming, where we tell dark stories and support inclusive gaming. Tonight, we're playing Bluebeard's Bride, a game of feminine horror from Magpie Games. Gehenna Gaming is sponsored by Die Hard Dice, Session Zero Clothing, and 1985 Games. Make sure to check the links in chat and use code Gehenna at checkout to save 10% on dice, TTRPG clothing, and wonderful gaming accessories from our friends at these companies. This week, we are supporting Streaming for Survivors with a fundraiser for WAVAW Rape Crisis Center. You can donate to our Tiltify for this great cause and a chance to win some dice I've made. They have lilacs in them and they're really pretty. Follow the link in chat to donate for this campaign. And now I want to give my players a chance to introduce themselves. So we're going to start with Kitty. Please tell us who you are and which sister you'll be this week.
Hi, everybody. Kitty Kimchi here. Today, I'm going to be playing the mother.
Savannah.
Hi, I am Savannah. You can find me online at Miss Emo Fox. And tonight I will be playing the witch.
Abby.
Hi, I'm Abby. You can find all my random stuff at Clarion Call, and tonight I am the Fatale.
Alex.
Hi everyone, I'm Alex. You can find me at Daredevil Alice on the World Wide Web, and I'm playing the Animus.
Bluebeard's Bride is a game of feminine horror. Much of that horror is in exploring uncomfortable topics and events that society and gaming frequently ignore or are not comfortable discussing. When we say feminine horror, it is because the fears and abuses portrayed are often directly related to women and the horrors that many experience simply from living. There will be gaslighting, body horror, abuse, tense situations, murder, and maternal horror. This content may include explicit descriptions. The players and I have gone over lines and veils already. They know they're in for a ride, but I do intend it to be a safe and cathartic one. If this does not sound like a game you are interested in watching or realize as we play that you need to step away, thank you for stopping in, and I hope you take care of yourself this evening. Now, we're going to start with a twist on the traditional Bluebeard's Bride tale. You are Marian Victoria. You have heard this story before. Once upon a time, there was a very lovely girl, and one day a gentleman came into town, a nobleman looking for a wife, older and with a beard that was an unnatural and enrapturing shade of blue. There were rumors that he had had wives before, but no one knew what happened to them. But this mysterious, generous man saw the girl, saw her beauty. He won her with magnificent gifts and promises that her family would prosper. She married the man with the blue beard and went to live with him in his large, grand estate. You have heard the story babbled by a woman under your care. She speaks of a generous man who married her and ghosts in his home, of how she saw the face of her father's former love in a mirror, a rag doll that disemboweled a servant, a bath of blood, and a drowning woman. Slander, desperate lies. The generous man has donated many times to your facility to ensure the best of care for this woman and everyone that you care for. And still, she speaks against him. He sends her baby lambs on their wedding anniversaries to comfort her. She pets them, and they live in the field behind our home. She watches them. But when she sees them bathed in the red light of dawn, she screams. Tonight, you are playing Marian Victoria. You have caught the eye of a rich man with a beard of an enrapturing and a natural shade of blue. You remember the stories, but your paramour, he could not be as awful as this woman says. My players, you are all playing different parts of Marian Victoria, all in the same physical body. You represent different aspects of her mind in this game called Sisters, and you'll be exploring Bluebeard's house in search of tokens that will indicate to you whether Bluebeard really loves you and is just misunderstood, or if in fact is a serial killer. And you should have heeded those warnings. Now we're going to do our wedding prep, because you need to get ready to get married. So I'm going to start with our Animus. Animus, what are the bride's hands like?
The bride's hands are calloused and very rough. After years of working and taking care of others, picking up others, they are hands of laborers and show signs of wear.
Is there any particular place on your hands that the calluses are most populated, or is it just kind of an overall effect?
Mostly on her palms. She uses the palms to really support the weight of others.
Tal, what does the bride's mouth look like?
The bride's mouth is frequently smiling. She tries to keep her spirits, or the spirits of those she takes care of, up. The lips are a bit thin, but a little pinching, a little color will come to it, and it's somewhat flattering.
Mother, what is the bride's figure like?
I picture her figure to be very long and slender.
Is it an overall length? Is there a particular length in her torso or legs?
Her torso.
Witch, what is the bride's hair like?
She keeps her hair very short. With the people that she takes care of, sometimes they can grab onto it, so she has found over the years that it is better to keep it quite short, cropped to the head, and she has jet black hair.
Animus, what weakness do you give away when others hold your hand?
She sweats buckets out of them. You're not sure if you're holding a tentacle or a human hand because of how slimy her hands are.
Is that from nerves or just...
It's part nerves. She also has very overactive sweat glands.
Thank you. Baton, how do others keep her quiet?
Well, they generally just keep talking about themselves. There's the assumption that our dear girl will just sit and listen, that she's a very good listener, but it means that they do more talking than they do listening to her. Us.
Mother, what do others wish was different about the bride's figure?
That it was more that fuller figured, more voluptuous.
I love that word. Okay. Alex, Animus, what tales have you heard about Bluebeard's wives?
That they're all raving stark mad. I have treated so many that have been in and out of this mansion, and they speak of supernatural horrors, things that of a very disturbed mind, and so I have to listen to this day in, day out. All these women who are reduced to just blubbering, disturbed women.
So that sounds like you have several patients who are former wives of Bluebeard. Is that the case?
I, for one of them for sure. The others have come either to visit or have disappeared. You hear the gossip.
You do indeed. The Tao, what tales have you heard about Bluebeard's wives?
Well, we know that again, this our love cannot be the gentleman that's spoken of in at least the patients under our care. I would say that at least in regards to any of his previous wives, that oh goodness, what have we heard? I think that they were quietly put away because they were not able to give him children.
Mother, what tales have you heard about Bluebeard's wives?
I've actually heard that he has lost a wife during childbirth, and I've heard that his last wife has gone ill.
Which I apologize, I missed your previous question. So I'm going to ask you that, and then I will ask you about the tales. How do others like the bride to wear her hair?
They actually like her to wear a bonnet because it gives the illusion that she might have long hair underneath. They don't very much appreciate her boyish cut. It's not very feminine.
And what tales have you heard about Bluebeard's wives?
Well, especially from the babblings of supposedly his most recent bride, potentially. Some of them were very power hungry, wanted to see what they could gain for themselves. Perhaps they were actually just using Bluebeard, and that probably broke his heart.
Animus, what do you think about these things you've heard?
I think they're all tales of rubbishry, ones that try to slander and take away the life of a charming young man. They're really just ruining the potential of Bluebeard. We can't have this. Bluebeard supports this facility. We don't really have any other benefactor.
He is so generous. Vital, what do you think about these things you've heard?
Again, it seems outlandish at times. It's concerning, but again, I don't dare ask him about this sort of thing. That's so crude. It can't be real, can it?
Mother, what do you think about these things you've heard?
I think that is tragic. This poor man, he's lost so much. I think he needs someone to take care of him.
Witch, what do you think about these things you've heard?
I think it just shows how selfish people can be, especially when presented with positions of power or a place in their life where they are raised in their own stature, and how that can go to their heads.
Animus, what are you leaving behind from your provincial life to become Bluebeard's bride?
A hard, brutish life where I'll have to work. I don't have to work another day in our lives, sister. We are in luck. We're marrying our benefactor of the facility. We will have servants, wait on us. We'll have the life that we've always wanted, where we'll just lie back, kick off our shoes, and become a princess of a mansion or whatever. But this is the jackpot. We've hit it. We don't need a lottery. We have a man.
I very much enjoyed that line. We don't need a jackpot, we have a man. Vital, what are you leaving behind from your provincial life to become Bluebeard's bride?
I'm somewhat with Animus here of never changing a bedpan again in my life. Sounds good, but I think what I'm leaving behind is there's a book of stories, myths, legends, fairy tales that I read to the people that I help take care of sometimes. I think I'll leave that here for the next person.
Mother, what are you leaving behind from your provincial life to become Bluebeard's bride?
My fiance's grave. I wasn't able to take care of him like I should, so maybe I could use my talents elsewhere.
What was your fiance's name?
Frederick.
Frederick? What is the shape of the gravestone?
Just the
traditional sort
the
of
traditional arch, yes.
Do you visit it often?
I do. He's buried underneath the tree where he proposed to me.
Thank you. Witch, what are you leaving behind from your provincial life to become Bluebeard's bride?
While I agree with Animus about never having to lift a finger again, we are losing a little bit of our purpose. You know, I'm sure it'll be great to not have, you know, to care on other people, but we've been doing it for so long that, you know, that's kind of become who we are. And I think we're going to have to find a new purpose with our new life.
Animus, when you first met, what loving gesture did Bluebeard make that won you over?
Well, we have a very special event in town where all the men in town wrestle hogs, and the one who gets to wrestle down hogs gets to keep the hogs. And Bluebeard, he curled up his sleeves, puffed up his chest, and he went inside the pen and he wrestled down the largest hog. It was such a sight of strength that it just won me over, because he is not only a benefactor with money, but he has so much muscle.
Get you a man that can do both. Fatal, when you first met, what loving gesture did Bluebeard make that won you over?
Not gonna lie, I had one, and then that just flew out of my mind based on
Hog wrestling?
Wow. Okay then. Oh, dang it.
Do you want me to come back to you?
I was
Yes,
asking
please.
Alex in the side if she was playing the Fatale tonight. You know, talking about the muscles.
Hey,
A girl can look.
girl can look.
Appreciate.
The Animus is the active, forceful doer. Can appreciate
active,
those
all
things.
right.
Appreciate the strength and the rippling muscles.
She's active, all right.
So, Mother, we're moving on to you and asking, when you first met, what loving gesture did Bluebeard make that won you over?
I went outside and I saw him in the courtyard, and he was nursing a baby lamb. He said that the lamb was weak and he was nursing it to get its strength up for his love.
I'm going to do the witch, and then I'll return to you, Fatal. Witch, when you first met, what loving gesture did Bluebeard make that won you over?
An excellent question, groundskeeper. I would say he not only does he have rippling muscles that he wrestled a hog with, but he had spent a day at the facility. You know, as a benefactor, you would maybe expect him to, you know, come and see how we're utilizing his money. But he had actually decided to assist in not all, but some of the activities, and help out with some of the I don't know if I would call them patients, but clients.
Fatal, when you first met, what loving gesture did Bluebeard make that won you over?
Thank you. There was a point where it was winter. We were low on basically our medicine and supplies, and the delivery wasn't available. And he had the resources. He went ahead and, basically went out and found where it was waiting at the nearest town and got us the supplies we needed.
Animus, what gift did you present to Bluebeard before the wedding? Why did you choose this?
I have to make sure my answers are not too sexy, or else I'll be taking away from the Patel.
Oh, I think you can keep them sexy. Do you?
Thanks,
you
Grant.
be you. I got me.
Thanks, Groundskeeper. Thanks, Patel. I simply think that Animus presented Bluebeard with there's a lot of ideas in my head right now. But with a scalpel, actually. But this is just no ordinary scalpel. And not necessarily one that you would do knife play in the bedroom, but it's a scalpel where it is engraved by, it's an heirloom actually throughout her family, presented by her father, because her father really believed that she'd be a doctor at one point, and gave her the scalpel to say that you can treat problems in life like how you can treat the body. You can just cut it out. And that's how it drives the animus, to solve problems. If you can't fix it, just break it and move on.
Patel, what gift did you present to Bluebeard before the wedding? Why did you choose this?
I got him a silk cravat. It is just an ivory color, and I got it because there are things about us that we feel coarse or that we're working all the time, and I didn't want him to think about us like that. I wanted, when he thought about us, to feel something soft and silky at his throat and breast, and have a clean, beautiful white color.
Mother, what gift did you present to Bluebeard before the wedding? Why did you choose this?
When Frederick died, I cut my hair and made a mourning bracelet. So I'm going to give Bluebeard that bracelet after I dye it blue.
I like that a lot. Witch, what gift did you present to Bluebeard before the wedding? Why did you choose this?
So I think to keep up with her hands and some of the intricacies, she does cross stitching. And she sorry. I don't know if you heard that, but my dog knocked something over. My apologies. So she does cross stitching, and she had done one that was full of all different blue flowers, like bluebells and things of that nature. And actually she also stitched in some actual herbs while she was doing it. And that is what she presented.
Animus, you want to change your gift?
I sort of do. After hearing some others that were said, I really want to sort of bring in a little bit. I was hearing what Vital said, and I think instead of a scalpel, it should be barber shears.
barber shears. Please elaborate.
Yes, similar to the ones like Sweeney Todd would use in the days where you didn't have shavers, but you had really precise shears that would, after you put on some warm foam on a gentleman's beard, you could easily cut them off, giving them a very close shave on their throat as well.
And why did you choose this?
Because we no longer have to care for patients, and we will find a new purpose, but we want to show Bluebeard that we're fully committed to caring for our very generous husband and making sure that he looks his best and presentable whenever he goes out.
Thank you. Animus, do you trust your generous husband, Bluebeard, or do you hold unkind suspicions? Why is that?
Oh yes, I fully trust Bluebeard. I don't trust any of the women's ravings or gossip. That's what women do. They use gossip, which is entirely untrue. And having had conversations with Bluebeard, he doesn't seem like to be a man that could ever do any of these heinous acts. There's no way. He's so kind, so generous.
Vital, do you trust your generous husband, Bluebeard, or do you hold unkind suspicions? Why is that?
Mostly. I, maybe there's that small part of me that thinks, there have been so many other women. Why? We don't really know, but I need to get out of here. I need to not live like this forever. I need more.
Mother, do you trust your generous husband, Bluebeard, or do you hold unkind suspicions? Why is that?
I trust him. Time and time again have I seen women come here and they have been abandoned and forgotten. But he actually took care of his wife.
Even when she ran from him, yes. Which, do you trust your generous husband, Bluebeard, or do you hold unkind suspicions? Why is that?
I trust him. Some of what Mother said of, he still even cares for his wives. They have, slandered his name. But also, he really sees me. Short hair, covered in who knows what that day. He still sees the person and not just the job, which hasn't something we've experienced since Frederick passed.
So based on that, this seems like a slightly older bride, perhaps?
I would say so. That's been my personal impression on the bride.
Might as well. All right, it doesn't affect anything, but, just checking. Okay, and now on to our sisterly bonds. These are the relations between the sisters, and everyone should be linked to somebody when we're done. So, Animus, You hold yourself apart from your sisters, but blank is the only one who soothes you. Explain a time they calmed your rage.
I would say that Mother is the only one who soothes me. In fact, Mother is a very strong mother. She guides us. She has so much wisdom that she provides such gentle and caring advice. She's so observant as well. One time, a client had actually slapped us in the face with her as we were trying to put her to bed, and it was actually it was Bluebeard's previous wife, and Fatal and Mother and Witch really wanted to punish that client, but Mother had great restraint and instead killed her with kindness, in a sense, with a talking to, and to demonstrate with gentle parenting as to why that was an inappropriate action. For me, I don't show restraint like that, but Mother does.
You are envious of blank. Explain why you can never compare to them.
I am envious of Witch. I could never compare to this individual who praises Satan, and perhaps is I'm not quite sure if Witch has picked up on the stark raving mad tellings of our clients and reads them books of Satan or something. I'm not really aware of this when she does that, but I'm envious of Witch because she seems so carefree. She doesn't care about what anyone thinks, and her Satan worshipping methods and drawing of blood and sacrificing of sweet baby animals.
I do want to say one thing is I love how most of my personality traits come from Alex describing me in one way or another.
Gotta make up that story.
Yeah, at least it wasn't anal beads this time.
Yeah.
It wasn't anal beads this time.
Nope.
Worship.
That's part of the fun of. I love this character creation process. It can be fun, and it does create a very in-depth character. And now we are moving on to the bonds from our Fatal. Your sisters are who they are, boring and predictable, but blank has no idea of a woman's true power. Explain why you wish to teach her. Yet.
I wish more for Mother. I really do. She was almost there. We were almost there. We had love, we had passion, and since then it has been so cold. It has been just mourning and work, and this new romance is lovely. Mother loves, but Mother loves very studiously, and I think we can do better.
Fatal, you try to draw in blank with your seductive aura. Explain how you hide your insecurities from her.
Well, I mean, we already have such great energy with Animus. I was about to say, look, maybe I hadn't paid the most attention to them, during other times, but I feel like when I caught the vibe coming off of the hog wrestling, I knew we could be something exciting. We could get things done. So, I try to hide my insecurities by sort of, going with the activity and, just, it's I let her take the lead sometimes, but I know I'll have fun when we get there.
Excellent. Mother, you know best, and try to guide your wayward sisters, but blank irritates you with their obstinacy. Explain a time they undermined your authority.
The witch. There was this time where I was known as Nurse Slug because of my hands. And I was called that by some of the other caretakers. And next thing I know, she does the flick of the wrist and they're being chased by bees. I told her there's a better way to handle things.
You're right. I should have sent something bigger.
You trust blank to have your back. Explain a time they supported you in a time of need.
The fatale. When I lost my dear Frederick, I thought that no one would ever want me. I thought that I would never be desired again. But she taught me that I am beautiful and that I am worthy of love.
Which blank is a useful tool. Explain how they helped you in your pursuit of blasphemous craft.
My blasphemous craft. I think, as much as she would deny it, Mother is a very useful tool. Because without knowing it, Mother actually encourages me to try and be more creative, more sneaky, try out different ways of totally not punishing anybody for, picking on us or, coworker gossip.
Well, my dear, if you are going to do something, do it your best.
Exactly.
Blank draws an evil to her. Explain what you have done to keep that evil at bay.
Animus draws an evil to her with her rage. Not just myself, but I definitely utilize the other sisters to kind of distract her from her rage. When she, goes blind with rage, I help to kind of help refocus her and kind of sometimes utilize her energy to direct my own, but her rage is very potent and powerful and can draw the wrong things to her.
Very good. Now, please assign your stats, a 0 and a -1, to blood, carnality, or resilience. And choose your face. Your face moves are unique to your sisters. You don't have to tell me where you assign those stats or which face you pick. Just be ready to use them. I am looking forward to seeing how this works without a virgin. That's generally a sister that gets played, and one of the fun things about running this repeatedly with the same cast is that everyone wants to play something different. And this time we don't have a virgin, and that's really fun. So let me know when everyone is done assigning those stats and selecting your base. We all good? Can I get thumbs up? Yeah, sweet. All right. Then from here on, you are no longer Marian Victoria. You are only Bluebeard's bride. Nothing more. We're going to go to break. And once we return, we'll be starting play. So tune back in soon. Hello, thank you for joining us again. We are Gehenna Gaming, where we tell dark tales and support inclusive gaming. Tonight we are playing Bluebeard's Bride, a game of feminine horror from Magpie Games. And this week we are supporting Streaming for Survivors with a fundraiser for WAVAW Rape Crisis Center. You can donate to our Tiltify link for this great cause and a chance to win some pretty blue dice I made. Check out the Twitter link for pictures. Follow the link in chat to donate to this Tiltify campaign. And now, let's get married. Before break, we created a bride who is strong, caring, and ready to leave her days of changing bedpans behind her. She has found a second love, a second chance, and she means to make the most of it. It's your wedding day. My bride, my beautiful bride, thank you for your love and gifts. Thank you for giving me your heart, your body, and your life. I will treasure them always. To my bride, the groom raises and drains his glass, looking at you, his blue mustache and beard wet from champagne as he smacks his lips, smiling wolfishly at you. It's your wedding day. That morning, you put on your finest dress that Bluebeard bought for you. Your short hair is on full display, curled at the ends and festooned with pinned blue flowers. All eyes are on your beauty. Bluebeard wears the silk cravat that you gave him. At the ceremony, he kissed you very chastely. Now, at the reception, you sit alone at the high table, drinking champagne while he talks to your guests, most of whom you do not know, but it all seems they are talking about you, and you are getting an awful lot of looks. The party is over. He hands you into an elegant carriage, and the gas lamps outside are lit, because night is drawing near. He then sits across from you with his side against the door, and he just watches you on that long ride with the firelight reflecting in his eyes and blue hair. But he doesn't touch you, he just looks. And then the carriage stops. He delicately hands you out, and you see your new home. It is enormous. It towers over you, 3 stories made of beautiful stone, and the gaslight shines over the copper roof. And in front of you are a few stairs leading up to double doors. As you look up them, you see to the side and beyond the hedge that surrounds the grounds. The grass inside is dry and brown, and then you enter the house of Bluebeard, and the door closes behind you. It's very dark inside this entry hall. You can't see the end of it, but you think there might be stairs. There's a table in front of you, made of a highly polished wood, and the only light in the room shines from a lamp upon it. On the table is a letter. Bluebeard takes the letter and reads it while the coachman brings in your luggage. And then he turns to you. I am so sorry, my bride. I was so looking forward to our wedding night, but business calls me away and I cannot stay. But here, have the keys to the house. Please look through everything. Make yourself at home. Play with the jewels. Make boats of any of my papers to float in the bath. Set fire to the furniture. Tease the servants. I do not care. This is yours as you are mine. But do not go into the room in the northeast tower. That is my private chamber, where I can find some small solace from the stresses of the world. It is my private place. Please do not go in there. I will be back soon and we will have our wedding night. You will remember it for the rest of your life. Then he hands you a ring of keys. His hand touches yours briefly and he turns and leaves. Closing the door, you are alone on your wedding night in Bluebeard's house. Your house. You're a little drunk and your shoes are far too tight from dancing and you hear rain hitting the roof. Now, the present that pleased Bluebeard the most was Mother's. Your hair dyed blue from the mourning bracelet you made for Frederick. You have the ring first. Please begin.
What a lovely evening.
Ugh.
Well, not as lovely as it could be, but yes, this was lovely.
What do you mean, Patel? There was so much dancing and partying.
I think
And
she's missing a little hoo-ha.
we can
In
call
due
it what
time,
it is.
my dear. In due
Hoo-ha?
time.
Like who's hoo-ha?
I meant you who, like, you know.
Sex. The
Ugh.
word sex.
Ugh. Why? Why? Is that all you think about?
No, but it's really been an interesting thought lately because, well, we're married now. We can, without prejudices or problems or everything else. Now it's expected, and I'm looking forward to it.
And there's also the sex magic that can now be experimented with.
Wait, what? What do you mean? Sex magic?
There's just different energies. You know how, like, I use your angry energy to
Right.
like send bees to like attack the people who call us slug hands. Like, that's just like, it's another layer.
Oh, okay. Well, I will. I'm gonna not participate in that. Well, actually,
But we need you. You're very good at energy.
I can't stop myself from the muscles. That strength, though.
Yeah, you just gotta squeeze the muscles.
So
Yeah,
not tonight.
That's what I'm squeezing, the muscles.
Yeah, not tonight, but soon, very soon.
Mm-hmm.
All good things come to those who wait in due time, my dear.
And we've waited.
In due time, what would you like to do? Shall we get something to eat? Would you like to rest? Or would you just like to explore?
I think we have had far too much to drink and not enough to eat. Mother, you're so right. Can we whip up something really fast? Can we?
Super silly. We should be exploring, but fine. We can eat.
What do you want to be exploring for? We're famished.
You always find
I
the most
say-
interesting thing on an empty stomach.
Mhm.
I say that, again, Mother's been so patient. So very, 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 very patient. Now that we are married, what would you like to do, Mother?
Come, dear, let's go see if there's any nourishment in the pantry.
Yes.
So we just make our way through the house. My key would be solid brass, just a regular solid brass skeleton key.
Something that looks like it could fit just about anywhere and lead you wherever you might want to go.
Mm-hmm.
What size is it?
It's actually, it is very small. It looks as if it would open a diary.
How does it feel in your hand?
Like I could break it.
Hold, please.
This is our house. We can do anything we want. This is the life we've imagined, sisters.
Well, I'm glad you're excited.
Yeah. I mean, this is our life. We can order servants around. It's like the fairy tales.
Oh, yes.
Well, I am just happy that you're excited, darling.
Thanks, Mother. Oh, and do you hear that sound? Oh, it is the sound of silence. No screaming clients, no screaming of change your bedpans. What a great sound.
Yes.
It is good to have a moment of solitude.
No. I look forward to, if not of course, the return of our husband. If not that, then at least the company of someone lively. I don't know. maybe get some gossip out of one of the ladies of the place, or I don't know, maybe find somebody who, Animus, you like people who are good with animals. There's got to be stable hands around somewhere.
Tell you're speaking my language. I do like stable hands.
They are for looking and not for touching.
No.
That is Animus's specialty, is looking.
I just look. But Tell and Witch like to touch and feel.
I don't know what you're talking about. I
Only
do, but
slightly.
I do not have an issue with. It's the fondling and caressing, which I do not approve.
I only slightly resemble that sentence.
Mother, without doing a single thing untoward. By any nature of society, one can hold a hand and feel something.
Oh. And what is it that you intend to feel?
Warmth, life, something healthy.
Pulsing?
Ooh, yes.
And as you have this internal dialogue, and you feel Mother's disapproval, your fingers are holding that small, fragile brass skeleton key. And you're walking down the hallway and you come to a set of double doors. They are large and solid, of a heavy, ornate wood. They clearly lead to a large, grand room. And yet, set in their center, close to the divide in the doors, is a small lock of that same simple, solid brass, unadorned and very much at odds with the elaborate nature of these doors and the room that you assume lies beyond. And you know this is where that key goes. So you stop, you slide the key home, and the door opens. And you enter a dining room. It has a long, large table with thickly braided rope for servants, bells, suits of ornate armor along the walls, serving trays set with a rich meal and fine wine. At one end of the table is a bowl of warm water to wash your hands, and it's still steaming. These servants are very good. They were prepared for you. And there are chairs that look perhaps a little narrow along the sides of the table, and they are smaller than the larger chair at the far end of the table that looks as though it is meant for the man of the house. It is brocaded and fixed with the seal of Bluebeard and has an ornate blue pattern upon it.
Goodness.
So she goes and takes a seat next to Bluebeard's, washes her hands. My, isn't this just lovely?
How many people are coming to dinner? Not tonight, of course, but that's a lot of chairs and a big feast.
Clearly, Deer likes to entertain.
Ooh, that's something we could do, is, be an entertainer. A woman of the house now. Show everyone how special we are outside of taking care of someone.
You're so right, Witch. We can do it all. We're gonna be just showing off our strength instead of just being, we're leaving our old self behind. A nurse, we're gonna be entertaining. That's a fabulous idea, Witch.
I mean,
Now, darlings, we can be the hostess, but let's not make a spectacle of ourselves.
So we can't be the hostess with the mostest?
Ah! Mother, why are you rating in our glee and our fun? We have the help. We have money. Might as well use it and have fun with our lives. This is what people work hard in order to get money and then they die. But we just have a husband. who gives us money. So we don't have to work hard at all. We just have to live the good life.
Mhm.
Yes, but we must remain humble.
Humble.
Must we?
I know I can see where Mother's coming from.
You are sitting down and you've washed your hands, and the warm water feels so soothing. No one ever heated anything for you other than piss that you were expected to clean up afterwards. So this is a true treat. Your hands are clean as you sit down to an elaborate meal, the likes of which, well, you had the likes of which at your wedding, but you were busy greeting everyone and didn't have much time to eat. So you sit down, and it's all the things that you enjoy within easy reach. And upon the plate itself is exactly what you want, whatever that may be. Far be it from me to tell you what you crave. You sit and you prepare to dive in, and out of the corner of your eye, you could swear that there's someone sitting across the table from you.
Hello?
You look up?
Yes.
As you look up, you see briefly, so briefly, fleetingly, that you think you must be mistaken. It must have just, the suit of armor must have caught your eye. It appeared to be a woman with a fine gown, a white gown, similar to your wedding dress. However, the meal upon her plate seemed to be a head. But as you look up, the chair is empty. There's a suit of armor behind it. You must have been mistaken.
Is the head still there?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, it's an empty plate.
How much
Oh.
wine did we drink?
Apparently past our limit.
Yeah.
Yes, we might have overdone it a bit.
I mean, there's not an audience, so I'm not complaining. I'm just saying maybe our wits are a little off.
Yeah. I think we should just focus on this gorgeous roasted suckling pig with the apple in it, because we have never this is, if I am not mistaken, it seems like the same size of the hog that Bluebeard won. How exciting!
To the victors, the spoils, then.
Mm-hmm.
That was a grand show, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, let's dig in.
So you prepare to feast upon that hog, and as you look down at your plate, that brief moment, that fleeting second again, it seems as though, never mind, there can't be someone next to you. That's absurd. It must just simply be another suit of armor that's caught your eye. And you begin to eat. The flavor is sumptuous and rich, and as pork often is, it has a fine sweetness to it. But as you chew, it almost feels like there's something else in there with the meat. You daintily spit it out into a napkin and look, maybe it's a bit of fat, but it's a maggot.
Oh, dear.
What?
Oh.
Well, at least we didn't swallow it. Right side? Maybe.
Oh.
Maybe this is like a delicacy. I've heard that there's a certain kind of cheese out there called casu marzu that has maggots feast on the cheese. Maybe this is what Bluebeard is trying to do for us. Maybe it's a foreign delicacy.
I don't want it.
No.
Oh.
It's rather kind of him, but I don't think this is to our liking.
Mhm.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
You are looking around. Are you doing anything particular, or are you sitting at your seat and calling?
I'm still sitting at the seat calling.
As you look up, you could swear that there's that woman sitting across from you again, and your eyes focus on her. And this time, she stays where she is. Perhaps I should say, the beheaded body of a woman sitting in the chair remains, wearing a beautiful, elaborate, slightly outdated wedding gown. And there is a head sitting on a platter looking at you, and she says, "Oh, yes, dear, what is it?"
Does the head on the plate talk?
Of course.
Oh.
I
Just
would like to cry out for help.
Good thinking.
Yeah, good idea, mother.
When you break down and cry out for help, roll plus resilience.
Is my resilience 7?
On a 7 to 9, they help you, but they first need proof of your loyalty to Bluebeard. So, a servant enters, hearing you, and says, "Oh, madame, you found the meal we laid out for you. We are so pleased to have you. I'm sorry we missed you at the entrance. What can we do for you?"
This young woman here seems to be out of sorts.
She might be lightheaded.
Yes.
Young woman, they're looking around very confusedly. It's like, "There's no one here but you, ma'am. The master's gone on business, I understand. You're here."
I see. Well, perhaps the food may have distorted my senses. There's a maggot in the food.
"Oh my, ma'am, I'm so sorry." And they go over to look, and you look down at your plate as you say, and what you see is like before there was just the one, now you see a writhing mass of them moving in and out of the meat. And the servant is peering down at it, and they say, I don't see it, ma'am, but I'm sure you're right. Let me just take this away and let me know what you would like." And they reach for the plate, and as they do, there are maggots spilling over their fingers, and they clearly don't notice, and they fall off the tray and onto the table, wiggling and wriggling, and ew. What would you like?
It is quite all right, dear. I have lost my appetite, but thank you very much.
Oh.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like, ma'am?
No, thank you.
Is there anything I can do for you?
If you could just remove this plate, please.
Of course. I'll take this away. Please call again if you need anything else.
Thank you.
And they leave with the writhing plate of maggots.
Is
Yummy. Can I investigate the pig? The
Investigate a
cooked pig.
mysterious object. Ask who.
What about this item is odd or uncanny?
You look at it, and you realize it's not the body of a hog, but the corpse of a woman.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Hmm.
Yep, that would do it. What memories does this item hold?
You're brave for asking, witch.
I am.
Hmm.
This item holds the memories of a chase through a forest, of hounds nipping at her heels as there are calls behind her as she is chased through the forest like a beast. And she is hunted down and shot, and she lays on the ground dying, knowing what's coming. And she looks at the group of men that approach, and she closes her eyes, hoping it ends quickly at least. And thank God that's where the memory ends.
Hmm.
Poor dear.
Mm-hmm. Can I use my face move to follow up on what Witch did?
Yes, please read the text.
So I chose the Brute. Where it says, when you investigate a mysterious object by breaking it, ask follow-up question about the object. Its essence still remains, but the item can no longer be investigated by any sister. So
Break this poor woman's body.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to just tear the woman's corpse apart to see if there's more maggots or any other, like, anything else that needs to be investigated. You know, we don't know until we break it apart.
Animus, what are you doing?
Just hold on, and with I'm just gonna push 2 hands in the rib cage and just like tear it apart.
To do this, you essentially climb on the table, reach your hands into the cooked flesh, and wrench the rib cage apart. And
she's just, using her doctorly knowledge.
And what is your follow-up question?
My follow-up question is can I ask like an extra question from the investigate a mysterious object?
Yes, you can ask your question should be from the investigate a mysterious object list.
Why did Bluebeard keep this item as I tear it apart and no longer can anyone else investigate it?
The pain is so sweet.
Huh. Well, sisters, we have learned so much. What does the inside of the cavity of this woman's body look like?
It is well cooked, not rare, and it looks like it's been stuffed with apples and some other sweet fruits. And as you look at the apples, that seems to be where the maggots are. And particularly an apple that is nestled where the heart would have been.
You know, we just have to pick out the apples with the maggots. Everything else is okay. This is still a pig. This is impossible. It's a woman.
I appreciate your attempt of suspension of like disbelief. This is a woman. Animus is not a pig. This is not.
Oh, stop. Just stop touching her, please.
Oh, okay. I just can't imagine why. Like, we saw a pig. I know we saw a pig. I know we cut meat from the pig. We didn't cut no woman. We just have had a lot of wine to drink.
I mean, if that makes you feel better on the inside. But we ate this woman's insides.
Oh.
And wasn't it delicious? Says the head on the plate across the table from you.
My dear, what has happened to you?
What do you mean?
Well, why are you here in such a state?
I don't understand. I married Bluebeard and we had a lovely wedding night.
And what happened on your wedding night?
Well, it was something that I've remembered for the rest of my life.
What was that, dear?
Isn't this a lovely meal?
It is. Do you know what we are partaking of?
I believe it is a hog that Bluebeard hunted for us.
I see. I am going to... Is her body there?
Her body is sitting in the chair, holding a knife and fork above the head.
I'm going to pick up her head, put it on her body, and take a sewing kit out of my pocket and put her head back on.
Good luck. You're gonna need some kind of move for that.
I would like to...
Could this count as caress a whore? I'm caressing their head back on.
What is it?
Or dirtying myself with violence and
I mean, yeah,
mutilate them.
You're mutilating them, yeah.
Alex, what do you think?
You could, mutilating sounds like correct. Dirtying yourself or caressing. I mean, I guess Kitty's intent. What are you trying to do?
I'm just trying to put her back together.
Well, that sounds like you're attempting to care for them.
Yes.
Which I would say is caress a horror.
Yeah.
So roll plus blood for me.
Plus what now?
Blood.
7.
On a 7 to 9, it will shift its attention, but only if you participate in some way. So I'm going to say your participation is you sewing the head back on. She doesn't stop you. She simply sits there with her knife and fork poised over her empty plate as you fit her head back on her neck and stitch the skin back together. What color thread do you use?
White. It matches her dress.
Lovely. I like to think you do some kind of slight floral embroidery to it from your cross stitch.
Oh yes, nice little daisies going across her neck.
Perfect. And once you're done, she looks at you, like she turns her head at an unnatural angle and looks at you and says, "Oh, is that better, dear?"
Oh, yes. I kind of pull a plate of food towards her.
"Oh, why, thank you." And I had mentioned that you saw out of the corner of your eye, you thought there might have been someone next to you. There is indeed another headless woman in a slightly more modern gown, something similar to yours, in a similar posture, and the head on her plate says, "Well, why ever did you bother doing that?"
I wanted to make her a necklace to go with that lovely dress. Now, my dear, who might you be?
"I'm Bluebeard's wife."
I see. And what can you tell me of your wedding night?
"I remember it for the rest of my life."
Can you tell me what happened?
It was exactly as a wedding night should be. Memorable.
Well, at least Bluebeard didn't go away on business like he did for us.
Oh, he did.
Oh.
Then how was your wedding night so memorable?
Oh, he came back just in time.
In time for what, dear?
And with that, you hear heavy footfalls behind you. And you feel yourself, you're standing behind the woman who you stitched back together. You feel yourself being pushed, it doesn't feel like a hand, it just feels like a pressure. Pushed down so that your face is sideways against a plate, like your cheek is resting on the plate next to the woman that you just sewed back together.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, hey, you can't do that to us.
You know who we are.
Who did that? What?
Are we still pressed down?
Yes.
I would like to pass the key to Fatal. Fatal, you're used to this position.
Shots fired.
At least I'm not going to try and sew them back together. So yes, I will take the key. At this point, I'm going to take stock. What does this place demand of the bride?
Subservience.
I don't like this. There's not even a person here. There's just the weight. Let me see. Okay. The bride is going to actually reach out a hand to the bride that was sewn together and say, help me up. And I'm going to, let me see. Would you take a Caress of Horror on that one?
Oh, hell no. What are we doing?
No,
Why are you
I don't-
caressing a horror?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Caressing a horror, that's you attempting to care for someone.
Okay, all right, no worries.
In fact, do you have the ring currently, Fatal?
I do, yes. She gave it to me.
Then really, I should call Shiver from Fear on you.
That's true. I did that real bad.
Name a thing you are most afraid will happen, and I'll tell you how it's worse.
I am afraid that my head on this plate is going to be separated from my body very shortly, similar to these women.
What's worse is the knife that you know should be next to this place setting is gone. And it's a fairly large knife, really. Please keep the ring and choose 2, or pass the ring and choose 1.
All right, then I'll, no. The mother handed it to me and was horrible. I am keeping this ring. Let me see, we'll go with, it has the bride in its clutches right now, because that seems real clear. And, I am curious, and that'll get me in trouble with it infects the bride with its perversion.
Ooh. I thought you would pick the other one.
So you're sure that you spit out that maggot, and yet it feels as though your mouth is crawling with them. So as you are held down against the plate, you open your mouth and attempt to spit them from you, even though you are in this awkward position. And you almost choke on them a bit.
Oh.
I would like to escape.
Mhm.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, straight up escape. This is
Straight up escape, not propose a truth. All right. That is your right. When you attempt to escape without proposing a truth, the groundskeeper will offer you a hard bargain or an ugly choice. If you pay the price, you escape. So you take a trauma, and that's the hard bargain. But
yes. I was about to say the fatale, the bride, basically is trying to spit out these maggots, and can feel them basically going down her throat, and there is finally just this hard shudder, and she tears herself away from the table and flees the room, coughing, and just slams the door behind her, shaking.
As you leave, you hear, "Oh dear, what's the matter?" And the sound is closed off as you shut the door.
Whoa. That is an experience I would like to never experience again.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Absolutely horrifying.
And you just gave it to me?
Well, I thought that you would like it. You wanted to be caressed.
That wasn't a caress, Mother. That was a that was not that.
Have you
Not it.
Have you so forgotten what human touch feels like that was your idea?
It has been a while.
Mother, you should have given it to me instead of Fatale. I could have, used some violence and strength against that situation, not like Fatale who escaped.
Against what? There was
You
nothing.
ripped that poor woman apart.
Yeah. And you know what? And something was forcing us down. We could have obviously just fought back.
Fine.
was-
You want it? You've got it. And the keys go straight to Animus.
I just want to do a quick vibe check. Everyone okay? Yeah, cool. Excellent. Animus, describe your key.
Amazing. Thanks, Patel. It's made out of the papers he said we could make paper boats out of. So it's a paper key that has cursive writing on it, and it's very thin, and it's folded up, similar to like origami. So it's like an origami paper key, creamy white with black cursive ink. And there's blotches everywhere, so you can tell that the person who wrote this wasn't very adept, or either they weren't very adept or they had a very faulty ink nib.
I know exactly where you're going.
Oh yes.
And I don't have a full description for this room written out, so bear with me. Because I'm inspired.
I'm so glad, Groundskeeper, that I just keep giving you fuel for the fire.
Yeah.
Row.
So you have this paper key, and you're running your fingers along the folds, and you're being careful not to fold it more as you're holding it. And you're walking down a hallway, and you see a door that reminds you of the key. It doesn't look like it's made of paper, but it has a similar angular pattern. It's not rounded or even square like most doorways are. It looks so our bride may not have a familiarity with origami, but I do, and I assume most people have tried it at some point. But you fold paper, and as you attempt to fold it into more of an arch or circular pattern, you end up folding it quite a bit. So you see a lot of those short angles going around the door, and it's of a very pale wood. It's never going to be quite the white of paper, but it's very pale. And you definitely see what looks like a normal lock, and yet you're confident if you put your key in there, it will open. And in fact, it does so. So you enter, and what you see is, well, a cozy room. There's a desk, a chair, beautiful pale wood floors of the same pale white as the door, and you can't see much else because there simply seem to be piles of paper, piles and piles of them in orderly stacks on the desk and unorderly stacks all around it. And they are a paler white against the natural wood of the floor. The room is lit by a lantern upon the desk.
Well,
Library?
Oh, look, everyone. It's a beautiful, beautiful study. Lots of paper.
Did you want to make boats for the bath?
Yeah. Which, like, that's what he said in his letter. We can make paper boats. Where's your whimsy? This is our house. We can do anything we want. You know, paper and ink is so expensive. Only the rich can afford that.
That does seems rather delightful.
Thanks, Mother. Okay, let's. I would like to go to the papers and start making little paper boats. And while we're at it, make a little sailor's hat for us.
As you touch the papers, you reach for the first one, and it's paper cut, but that happens, right? Uncomfortable, but you know, whatever. But every time you reach for a sheet of paper to fold it, you receive more tiny cuts, and the papers begin to slide off the desk a bit.
Ow. Oh, these papers are really like thin. Oh.
Yeah, we did a
Ama-
lot of paperwork
Yeah.
before, but never so
We're-
many.
Yeah, we're really cutting through this dry skin. Our skin must be way too dry to handle this such like lush paper. I'm gonna maybe now is not the time for paper boats. I just want to see what's written on the paper. Maybe
Are you investigating a mysterious object?
I am the stacks of paper.
Asked two.
What about this item is odd or uncanny beyond the paper cutting? And why does Bluebeard keep these sharp papers?
Both of these questions are answered in the form of a memory. A woman is sitting in a room, not here, not this room, but she's writing letters to her sister. And you're looking at the papers, and the names are smeared out. You might be able to make them out if you looked a little closely, but both names, you can't see them very well. And that's somewhat odd because the rest of the letters are crystal clear. And they detail different things that worry the one woman who's writing to whoever else. All the different things, like the care of the home, and just how nervous she is that he'll find her, even though she attempts to hide, and he's going to find her. She knows that no matter what she does, he's going to find her. And Bluebeard keeps his items because he did find her. And that is always such a sweet victory.
Sister, do we remember the things that were said about the wives of Bluebeard? Look.
I mean, I think there was a story about two sisters that got that, not at the same time, obviously, but married Bluebeard.
Wow. Okay.
I don't care about everybody else. What is gonna happen to us?
Can I take stock?
Sure, ask one.
What stalks the bride from the shadows?
The papers begin to flutter a little bit, and the ones that fell off the table begin to almost take the form of butterflies.
Oh no, I don't know anything about this.
Oh, wow, they're flying.
Little butterflies.
Sharp little butterflies.
True. You know, I wasn't thinking about that part until you said it, Patel.
And they begin to.
I like our skin.
I like
and
her.
it's becoming bloodier as they slip off the table and appear to fly at you. And you have such a lovely dress, and it's beginning to get a little splattered. It was already a little juicy from tearing that hog open, but now, really.
Well, we cannot go on like this. I'm gonna try to disable these butterflies. This is not great. I'm gonna try to tear up these papers. I'm gonna show them who's actually the lady of the house, who's boss.
Is this dirty yourself with violence?
Absolutely.
Gonna take out katana and
Yeah, is there anything around here that I could use to not just rip them with my hands? Is there even you said there's a lantern here? Can I use the lantern to incinerate the paper butterfly?
There is a lantern. There's also a letter opener.
I like the idea of setting the butterflies on fire while they're flying around. I'm sure it'll go swimmingly.
Yeah, which, if anything, you'll take care of other stuff. You can channel my rage.
Yep, I'm gonna channel your rage.
So roll plus carnality for me, please.
Woohoo. Yay, that's an 8.
Very nice. On a hit, you inflict trauma as established and choose one. Do you disable, silence, or mutilate?
I'm gonna disable them.
And it sounded like you wanted to use fire.
Yeah.
So do you have a description for that, or would you like me to do it?
You can tell me what you thought I meant by wildly swinging a lantern around our head.
Well, it's essentially that, really. You open the lantern and you take out the candle and you hold it up close to yourself because they're flying at you. So if you hold it close to you, you'll probably get at least hopefully the majority of them. And you catch them on fire and they flutter to the floor, burning and dying. And then since you rolled an 8, you choose one from below as well. Your vulnerability opens you to trauma, or your carelessness leaves you in a bad spot.
It seems like really appropriate that this is a little bit carelessness, so your carelessness leaves you in a bad spot.
Well, there's fire now, and there's a lot of paper, and the fire is hungry, and it begins to chew and gnaw its way across these letters.
Oh, okay. Cool. Which, you remember what I said about like channeling my rage? I'm gonna just toss you mentally this ring so that you can deal with the fire, because I'm not gonna take responsibility for this.
Oh, sure. I will clean up your mess.
Thanks, witch.
Let's see. What is around the room that I could potentially douse? Like, is there like a blanket or a robe?
Not
Or
really. The purpose of this room seems to really be to contain these letters and this desk. I want to remind my bride that the purpose of this game isn't so much to win as to escape.
okay. Then while these little fires are fluttering around, these little butterflies turned fireflies, I would like to shoot. Cry out for help, because things are on fire.
Please roll plus resilience. And someone may show up to calm your hysteria.
Yes. Maybe. 8.
That is a success. On a hit, a servant comes to address your concerns and calm your hysteria. On a 7 to 9, they help you, but they first need proof of your loyalty to Bluebeard. So again, a servant enters. Again, a servant asks, ma'am, what can I help you with?
We accidentally spilled, not spilled, but I knocked a lantern into the letters, and now it's getting a little.
Oh dear, you're ruining our master's correspondence. Please move. And they begin to attempt to put out the fire. They take off their jacket. They begin to fix that. And as they're doing so, they say, "And why were you in here? What purpose do you have in our master's things?" And this is proof of your sincerity and loyalty.
Well, Bluebeard said that I could go wherever I wanted except for the tower. I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to be in here.
Well, it's not so much that you're not supposed to be in here, but you're setting fire to things.
It was an accident.
Good job, witch. Great wording. Accident.
Very well, madame. Please be careful as you... I would like your home to still be standing when our master returns.
Of course.
And they do manage to put out the fire. Is there anything else?
From you?
Yes.
No.
Very well, ma'am.
So Mother took stock. Animus investigated.
And found the answer about the
Yeah.
heaping of the letters as some sort of victory.
Yes.
Mhm.
Does this honestly sound like the man who cared for our facility?
No, but you can become jaded when someone leaves you, which has seemed to have happened.
I don't know if something's wrong with us, or if something's wrong with this place, or I don't understand. Really, I want to, but this is a bit much.
Yeah, which I thought you were gonna take care of it. Let's just get out of here.
Oh. May I take stock and ask, what does this place demand of the bride?
This place demands that you acknowledge you are simply one of many. You are replaceable, as all of Bluebeard's brides have been.
I am not replaceable. We are one of a kind. I would like to propose a truth.
What is that truth?
That Bluebeard may think all of his brides are just women that he can utilize for his, lineage, perhaps. I haven't seen any children around. But that we are one of a kind and can't be thrown into a pile with the rest.
What token do you take?
Disloyal.
By what token do you take? I mean, what physical item do you remove from the room?
Yes. Is there a folded butterfly that's just a little singed on the sides?
Yes, it's flapping feebly, but if you pick it up, the edges are burnt enough it will not cut you.
Okay, then that is what I take.
And are you loyal or disloyal?
Disloyal. Taking that trauma.
Yes, please, all of my lovely sisters take a trauma.
And we all took a trauma from that escape as well.
Correct.
Right?
Yes, you're all at 2.
Is everyone at 2 or some more than others?
I believe you're all at 2.
Yeah, 2.
Okay. I thought Patel might have had more.
The extra was Fatal basically doing the escape. She didn't take a trauma from Shiver from Fear.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not the option you chose.
Right.
You have proposed a truth. You leave the room with the burnt paper butterfly feebly fluttering and dying as the heat leaves the page, and you slide it into the pocket of your wedding gown. It hasn't come up, but regardless of whatever awfulness happens, your dress will always have pockets. I'm not heartless.
The one thing we can rely on here.
Always. You slide your token into a pocket of your gown. You leave the room, perhaps beginning to learn something of your husband. Please, pass the ring.
I would like to pass it to Fatal because Fatal hasn't described a key yet.
Visal seems hesitant to take it, but after a moment, like, seems to steel herself. Remember that she is the motherfucking Fatal. And
That's
takes
right,
the key.
Fatal. Bring it.
Whew. Right. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Well. What are we looking for?
A place that doesn't have food or paper.
Those are great options.
Oh. I agree to all of these things. Oh God, I just want someplace comfortable. Let's see if we can, I don't know, find a place to sit, a place to rest. Just a minute. This is a lot. This is a nightmare.
Yeah. You think that there's like a kicking, like a punching bag somewhere?
No, I don't. Maybe, but that's not what I want at all. At all.
Oh. What do you want to do then?
The Fatal's going to basically sort through the keys and find one that actually, despite what she was saying about trying to find somewhere comfortable, her eyes are drawn to a key that seems to have almost a wing pattern coming off the top from where it's basically the part that you hold and turn. It seems almost to be like a pair of wings. The key itself is almost crystal. I don't know how it's that hard, but it is a translucent white stone material. I don't know. This could be an aviary. This could be a room with beautiful wing decorations. If I have to pick someplace, let's go see if we can find this door.
So don't you just want to like let it out? Wouldn't it be really fun to like break some dishes, punch a bag, just like let it out, girl?
I have ways I would like to let things out, but I don't think that's really... I don't know how that's going to work out now. I don't.
Are you just hoping to like lie down?
Yes, I would like to lie down somewhere.
Okay. Mother, is it? Do you have any like tinctures or tonics or something to soothe us right now?
I don't want anything from her.
I don't.
What?
I know you're still upset, but Mother has always taken care of us.
She always has taken care of us. Patel, this is our mother.
I know, and I want good things for her, and I was not ready for what she said to me. That's all.
Okay. But let's lay down or put our feet up somewhere and just collect ourselves.
Sure. Yes.
You have described a key with a delicate wing pattern, a translucent white stone. It's hard and crystal-like. Oh, perfect in its fitting together. And you're running your fingers along the edges and the bits that have been carved into it, and you see a door. And the door you see has a similar wing pattern around it, but it's less the wing of a bird and more the sort of shape that you might find on a gravestone. It's more the shape of something stark against the horizon as you stand there remembering a loved one. It is pale and perfect and appears to be made of marble, one solid piece, and yet the natural coloring of the marble suggests seams. And you fit your key into the edge of one of the wings along the side of the door, and it slides home without so much a sound as a simple feeling of completion. And it opens very gently, but not inwards. You have to pull it out towards you. And so for a second, you can't see what's in the room until you've pushed the doors open and stepped inside. And inside, it's very clean and sterile, and the tables are set as though of altars. There are figures under pure white cloths and different shapes under pure white cloths, and there are different jars of substances, and there's the smell of formaldehyde.
I try for a living and I find dead again. Okay. And the bride will start to walk through the room and see what this room even is. Pulling a piece of cloth off of one of these strange shapes.
Is it one of the more complete figures or one of the less?
The more complete figures.
It appears to be a woman, but not all of her.
What is missing?
Well, for one, there's no head, and different fingers are missing, and there's a hunk of flesh from the thigh. And maybe the part of the left leg, but it's not grisly. It's very surgical and clean.
Mm-hmm. Almost like someone was sculpting, only it's not stone.
I'm glad you understand.
She's going to run a hand down, because the arm doesn't sound maimed. Run a hand down the arm, feeling that contrast of this is skin and it should be warm and it should be something that I enjoy touching, and I don't. And I'm going to investigate a mysterious object.
Ask to.
What memories does this item hold?
There's memories of a joyous wedding day. She was wearing a beautiful white gown, and she rode here in a carriage with Bluebeard, and he sat and looked at her, and she felt so excited for the life that was coming. And she entered the hall, and he was unfortunately called away on business. And then she wandered the halls, and there's no way he could have known what would have happened when he gave her those keys. There's no way. He couldn't have known she would go into the larder or the abattoir.
Oh, goodness me. How many times are we going to hear this story? Oh, how many? What is our second question?
I'll tell you for free. If you ask whose item is this, the answer will always be Bluebeard's.
Then I will instead ask, why did Bluebeard keep this object?
Because even though this one is unfinished, she is part of a greater whole. And as you examine this body, you hear a sound behind you.
Turning around.
You turn and you see a form moving under one of the sheets, and it appears to be one of the more complete ones.
And she'll walk over and uncover that as well.
Which kind of like mentally holds Fatel's hand as like she can feel like Fatel like flinching up.
And here you found some of those bits that were missing from the other body. And they've been rather expertly sewn together with parts of other women.
Oh, look, Mother, more sewing.
They're not quite that same beautiful cross stitch. This is a little more precise and surgical.
This was moving. What's moving?
The figure that you've pulled the sheet off of has wide open blue eyes, and they're looking at you.
Hello.
The mouth is shown shut. I don't know if that came out correctly.
Do we still have our little sewing kit? I'm sure we do. And we'll try to snip the threads on the mouth. She is going to, and I'm going to activate my face move. This Fatal is the dancer. She is going to take what is the wedding train from our dress, and instead of this surgical cloth, cover up the nakedness of this woman. Remove a piece of your clothing to care for someone. The item of clothing is lost to you forever, but it feeds the appetite of the horror or servant until the bride speaks again.
You tear the train off your dress, perhaps with one of the instruments around the room. What you grabbed looks surprisingly like the shears you remember giving Bluebeard. And you tear your train loose, you wrap it around this figure's nakedness, and they hold it close about themselves, looking at you with those wide blue eyes. And as you look at them, you see those fine seams and different bits and pieces of where different women have been fitted together to create this marbled perfection.
I think I've seen enough sisters.
You don't want to hear her speak?
I think everything that needs to be said has been said.
Okay. I mean, okay. Up to you, sister.
I'm not going to interrogate and try to pull answers out of this poor woman. I'm going to let her rest. And we're going to go. And I would like to propose a truth. The truth that this room tells Fatal, especially Fatal, is that Bluebeard doesn't want a woman. He wants pieces to try and make some perfect whole that doesn't exist. And he is going to take them off of, even if he doesn't have a living woman anymore. He's going to take the pieces that he most prefers and try and form something, even if that's not where they belong.
What token do you take?
There were so many young, shapes and so forth. Was there a ring still on the hand?
No.
Understood. It's so clean, it's so sterile. I don't want to take the shears. I don't want to touch the shears ever again, in fact. I think
There would be other surgical implements. There are, of course, things lighting the room. Lanterns, candles. There are the cloths on the tables.
I think, yes, again, not to deprive any, yes, that's it. The wedding train was cut off, and the cloth that she took away, she is going to fold up and just kind of hold, whether that is a comforting gesture or just an effective way that she doesn't have pockets big enough for such a cloth. But Fatala's, the bride, is going to walk out, just arms wrapped around this bundle of fabric.
Loyal or disloyal?
Disloyal.
Please pass the ring.
I believe it is your turn, witch.
That seems so.
Please, I don't want it anymore.
You
Take
don't
it.
ever have to touch it again.
Thank you.
Please take a trauma for your disloyalty.
The witch kind of stands outside the room for a moment, feeling her sister's pain. I kind of feel silly now that we always thought those women were lying.
Yeah.
It's blatantly clear what his intentions are for us and what our fate is. He has his own personal Build-A-Bitch in his house.
Mother, I kind of... Wow. Okay, wasn't ready, but love it.
Yeah. Wow. Build a Bitch. That is a very catchy title. Could be a song.
From here on forward, we need to be in this as one.
Mother, how do you propose we do that?
I don't know.
We won't know until we have to face something else. Maybe I can find something. And she kind of starts thumbing through the keys. And she comes across one that isn't made of metal, isn't made of wood. It's a very delicate but intricate woven key that's woven out of herbs. And it's so tightly woven that it has some strength to it. It's not just some flimsy little thing. And at the end, where you would normally slot the key, it's kind of it's in a little triad.
Which, what do you think we'll find? Are we gonna be able to maybe use something against Bluebeard?
Yeah, I'm gonna hex the bitch.
Okay, I trust you, witch. But we're gonna have to find something that protects us.
I think it might be a little late for that, but at least we can go out swinging, just like you.
That's all we want.
No, it isn't. I don't want to go out at all.
I don't either. But I also perhaps don't see a path forward that is lively?
We're gonna have to stand up for ourselves. This is our time, sister, to find all of our strength, gather it up, and get the motherfucking out of here.
I'm not sure how I feel about groundskeeper's face as they are looking at their different screens. I like see their eyebrows go up and then go down and then quirk to the side.
Well, you have presented me with a very interesting key.
Oh.
So, I think I've settled on where to send you, if only for narrative purpose. But I hope we'll find it appropriate.
Hey on, Macduff.
All right. So you have a key that is woven of many strands, of many pieces that have all come together to form one cohesive whole. You find a door that it doesn't look so much like a door, but as a thick, heavy tapestry, something that is so thick and heavy that it wouldn't pass for a blanket. This is clearly a wall hanging. And there's a little bit from the design that looks mostly like vines that is torn off, and that seems to be the shape of your key. So you put it in and you take out your sewing kit and you stitch it back together because you do that so well. And then you push it aside and step in. And inside is a room with another desk in the center, but this is of a dark, rich wood, almost masculine in how heavy it is. And there are shelves that line it with books bound in a pale pink leather of various shades, moving in something that reminds you almost of a variety of skin tones, from pale to darker to pale, not in color scale, mind you, but just all mixed together. There are empty shelves closer to you. And on the desk, there appears to be an inkwell, empty, and more papers. Last time you found papers, it went so well.
Mm-hmm. The witch will just, with purpose, walk directly to the desk, and inspect those darn papers.
They are blank.
Investigate. Oh, okay.
So this isn't his desk?
Are you asking?
One way to find out.
Oh.
Investigate a mysterious object. Whose item is this?
It is very much Bluebeard's writing desk.
Hmm.
Then why is everything blank?
Yeah.
The papers on the desk are blank.
Yeah. What memories does this writing desk hold?
You feel a phantom prick on your finger, and you see the inkwell fill with a dark red substance. And you see the muscular figure of your beloved Bluebeard sitting at the desk, picking up the pen and dipping the nib and writing, "Once upon a time, there was a lovely girl, and she came from a poor family. They lived on the outskirts of town, and one day a gentleman came into that town, a nobleman looking for a wife, older and with a beard that was an unnatural and enrapturing shade of blue. There were rumors that he had had wives before, but no one knew what happened to them. He saw the girl, saw her beauty, and asked her family for her hand in marriage. She was greedy and said yes. She didn't think about it, she just married him. She married him for his status and his wealth, and she moved to his large house with him. And he cared for her as best he could, but she was so selfish. Eventually, he couldn't do it anymore. It goes on, but really, do you need to read more than that?
Oh. That's not our story, is it? Is that the story he's spreading around with other brides? Maybe they were right.
I think it's all of our stories, past, present, and future.
I think because we're too much trouble, too much.
No, Patel, it's not. It's not because we're too much. It's because we have been given so little. We've never asked too much.
I just mean like what he wrote. That's the reason. That's the reason in his mind.
Can we stop Bluebeard in any way?
I don't know how.
We need to make this right. We need to bring justice to this man.
Maybe the answer's in his personal suite that he told us to stay away from. Maybe that's the key.
Well, we're gonna have to get out of this one before we can go to the personal suite.
Taking stock. Pull up the moves before I say these words. What? Here we go. What traps have been laid for the bride?
You are thinking to yourself, and you go over and you start to open the different books, and you see that the handwriting is all the same. It's all written by the same person, and it's the same. It starts off with the same words each and every time. It goes on to detail specific awful things, but it starts the same. And it's, which question did you ask specifically? What stalks the bride from the shadows?
What traps have been laid for the bride?
For the bride. The traps laid here for the bride are that it would like to prey on your own doubt from the controlled narrative, but you'll have to think about who's holding that narrative and who has the pen. Who's writing your story?
Victor always writes the story.
Yeah, it's the Victor who writes the story. Can we not be the victors in this one?
How are you going to punch it?
Fatale, if I only could, but we have to find ways to pull ourselves together, find our strength. Maybe there, like Mother said, there's something in his personal suite that we can use to blackmail him or something. Or we put a little bit of something in his tea. I don't know.
I mean, for us to do something to his team, we would have to stay here, which is not what we want.
It's true.
And we're seeing evidence of so many who've died. And I say evidence, I feel like I've lost my mind for what we've seen.
Yes.
I just wanted to get away from the facility. I don't know what to do now. What do we do? Mother, what do we do?
She holds Vitel's head up. I wish I had the answer. We just have to take it one step at a time. Step one, we need to get out of here. Remember who you are. Remember what you taught me. You can do this.
Just have to get out of here alive.
Plan.
Agreed.
I would like all of you to take one trauma as you've reached this realization. It's a beautiful moment, though.
Is my math right? Is everyone at 4 now?
Yeah.
I would like to use a face move.
Which one do you have, Mother?
The martyr.
Oh no.
We haven't proposed the loyal or disloyal in this room yet, have we?
We have not proposed a truth,
No.
taken a token, or loyal and disloyal.
The martyr.
You will take your love to the ends of the world. When you offer forgiveness for your sister's sins, mark trauma 1 for 2 to heal that sister, so you can heal one of your sisters. But you will shatter.
And I can only heal one.
Heal that sister, yes.
Don't heal me, Mother. It's fine.
I'm going to
Vital.
heal Vital.
No, I, you know what? Either Witch or Fatel, Mother.
Heal Fatal.
I'm
Heal
going to heal
Vital.
Vital.
I'm not strong enough. I'm not going to be the one that gets out of here.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you can, Fatel. We believe in you.
I don't. Witch, please take this, please. Please.
I will be with you. Have faith.
You don't have to do this, Mother. You waited so long.
Don't weep for me. I'll be with Frederick.
My heartstrings. I'm gonna cry now.
Well, I can't. Unless she pulls back the move, I can't stop it, so.
That's correct.
Whatever happens, happens.
This is Mother's move.
Yep.
Regardless of what you may think or want. Mother, who do you heal?
Vital.
All right.
Mother, please read the text of your shattered page.
We are no longer whole. Our connection is severed. Our mind is fragmented. Our deepest fears are exposed. Our blood feeds the horrors, and I welcome them.
That still leaves us with a need for a truth, a token, and loyal or disloyal.
I have to activate my face move.
Oh.
Which is?
I chose the Reaper.
Oh.
When a fellow sister shatters, you feed on a piece of the bride's soul and heal 2 trauma.
Clever witch.
Very.
I promised Fatale I would be with her.
Very nice.
Very good. That's clever. All right.
Yeah. I'm right.
What next?
We're in a room full of his story.
We're gonna have to get out of here. Expose him. We have to find a way.
Well, what is our truth in this room?
He sits and writes. He sits and writes the reasons why every one of them deserved it. And I don't know. I don't know why we keep believing it.
Mm-mm. We're gonna have to change how society views women. We have to become a politician and then win and then hold office.
Yes, Animus, you will become a politician with your fists.
But no, that's the only truth I see here. But it's yours to say. What do you see?
You're talking to me.
You have the ring.
You have the
I
ring.
do,
Mm-hmm.
but I have already proposed a truth in another room.
That doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
What? Fine.
You can take counsel from your sisters, but unless you pass the ring, this is your truth to propose.
Then
If I can offer a suggestion,
you can.
why don't we let Animus give a truth?
That's what
Because Animus may not be on the other side of the door.
which relinquishes the ring to Animus. You have the passion and the drive, and you want to change things. So let's hear your truth.
Well, Witch, Fatale, you two are gonna have to make it right because I won't be with you on the other side. And I'm also joining Mother Frederick because sometimes you can't just solve all your problems with anger and rage and fists. I wish it was a little bit more witty. But I see that the truth in this room that Bluebeard writes himself a powerful, righteous man, and that he writes everyone else that are not the main characters as helpless and victims and individuals who are powerless and have no agency. So Patel, which we're gonna have to rewrite that, and instead of victims, we're gonna be you two are gonna be survivors. You two will have the strength to continue to gather the strength and move on, and not make this the story for just all the other brides, but maybe we can break the chain.
We'll try. I mean, I don't know how we're gonna do it without being able to punch, but I still know how to kick.
And I still know how to hex.
That's the spirit, or rather, that's a Satan spirit that I know Witch has, and that you have your seductive powers, Patel. And I take his story with us as a disloyalty token.
Please take a trauma. I believe animus that shatters you.
It does. And so when I shatter, Kitty and I both read it at the same time.
Please do so. And do you want to count off or
No,
no?
Kitty will just have to just figure it and just do it.
We are no, god damn it.
Our connection is
It's ever.
our
Our mind
is
is fragmented.
Our
deepest fears are exposed. Our blood
feeds
feeds
the
horrors,
and I
and I welcome them.
And that's what I think Shattered looks like.
A slight dissonance of unity. And so you exit the room and you have 3 tokens of disloyalty.
Yeah.
You carry that burnt paper butterfly, that story of yours,
The shroud.
and the shroud that you took from Build-A-Bitch. You travel these dark halls in search of a truth most divisive. Each room provided you with all the evidence you desired to make that one fateful choice. Now you stand before the forbidden final room and you must decide. Well, we have a disloyal outcome. And you must decide, do you present evidence to the town or run away, start anew? Animus.
Well, I think, sisters, we all know what we want to do with this loyalty. I think we need to present evidence to the town. We must, even if they don't believe us, that the word is out there. There's no good in running away and starting anew.
Patel.
Word's been out there again and again and again. What's gonna make this different? I just want someone to love me. I want to run away.
Mother.
We need to we need to run away. It doesn't matter if we go to the town and present evidence. It's just going to be one after the other, after the other, after the other. We got a second chance one time before. Maybe we can get another chance at a second chance.
Witch.
My initial thoughts were to present evidence. But I choose to put my sisters first, except for you, Animus, apparently. But Patel deserves to be loved, and Mother deserves a second chance at a second chance. And she's right. We heard all the same things. I am not foolhardy enough to think we are that special to be the one to break a cycle that has been going on for an unfathomable amount of time.
And so I would normally like to give you all a chance to convince Animus, but out of reverence for time, I'm going to go with the majority and spare us the painful dialogue. So we are going to look at the questions for run away and start anew under disloyal outcome. Animus. How does Bluebeard make the bride's family pay for her disloyalty?
He continues the cycle with her family, where he chooses her daughter as a bride.
Is this Frederick's daughter?
This is Frederick's daughter.
Patel. How does the bride convince someone else to marry her?
She is so passionate about being alive, about having some sort of chance again, that there is just energy, and she throws it into projects, into gaining attention, sometimes frantically, sometimes frenetically. But when she sees someone that will make her feel safe, it is a targeted, desperate attempt to keep their attention.
Mother. Why does the bride keep the tokens she discovered?
To honor the memory of the previous brides.
Which? What memory of Bluebeard's house gives the bride pleasure when it shouldn't?
The memory of the letters room, because she knows He will eventually find us, but he will also know that we did just fine without him, and we found a new life and a new purpose. And that should make him angry, and I hope it does.
Love that answer. Animus, what loving gesture does Bluebeard make when he finds her?
He attempts to love bomb her and present her with baby lambs and flowers and pleas to come back to the house so that he can take care of her. He also gives everything that the bride had given to her back.
Tal, what is the name of Bluebeard's next bride?
It has to continue. Bluebeard's next bride's name is Susanna.
Mother, how is she related to or important to you? I believe a sister, oh no, a daughter was discussed.
She is my daughter.
And so we have Bluebeard's Heritage Horror. Yay! Yay! This thank you for joining us. Of course, this format is meant to continue for as long as the groundskeeper and players can stomach. And this is, of course, from Magpie's Bluebeard's Bride. I'm trying to show it to you. The books are really pretty, but they're so pretty, I can't, my camera can't handle it. Sorry. They're really gorgeous. There's the core book, and I have the Book of Rooms and the Book of Mirrors. And if you don't like sitting down and writing out rooms ahead of time, which I do, I like to write out rooms ahead of time. They have a lovely deck of different items, mysterious objects that you can use, and they're just really great tools. I've used it a couple of times when I've sat at a table and just kind of run a game without all my stuff. So they're all beautiful books, and I recommend you check them out if you thought this was interesting. It's a really beautiful system. The books are all stunning and well written, and I hope other people take it and do interesting things with it, because there's a lot of different stories to tell. So thank you for joining us. And I want to again thank you for stopping in to Gehenna Gaming, where we tell dark stories and support inclusive gaming. Tonight we have played Bluebeard's Bride, a game of feminine horror from Magpie Games. Gehenna Gaming is sponsored by Die Hard Dice, Session Zero Clothing, and 1985 Games. Make sure to check the links in chat and use code Gehenna at checkout to save 10% on dice. TTRPG clothing and wonderful gaming accessories from our friends at these companies. And this week, we are supporting Streaming for Survivors with the fundraiser for WAVAW Rape Crisis Center. Please donate on the Tiltify campaign. You can follow the link below, and I believe there might be one in chat as well. And if you donate, you win a chance to get some dice that I made. They're pretty and they're blue, and they have lilacs in them, which are my favorite flowers. So I hope you do those things. But before you leave us, I hope you hear from my players. Kitty, please tell us where folks can find you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kitty Kimchi, and tonight I am the mother. And you can also catch me as well, I'm also the general manager of Build a Bitch. And April 3rd, you can catch me on Martlet Games for Indie Anarchs. And on Fridays, I will be on Vorpal Tales, Call of Cthulhu. You want to keep up with all of my blaziness, you can follow me on Twitter at yeah, she's blazing.
Savannah.
I love you so much, Kitty. Hi, I am Savannah. You can find me on the interwebs at Miss Emo Fox. I played the witch this week and for the final time for Heritage. Hopefully it's not the final time I play Bluebeard, but it's the end of this. You can find me almost every day on Vorpal Tales, playing some sort of game from Solemn Vale to Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder and Mage. You can also find me on my own Twitch channel. Right now, once a week on Sundays, playing just some not simple games, but like relaxing games, some Stardew Valley and stuff like that. That's kind of like relaxes me for the week ahead.
Abby.
Hi there, I'm Abby. And again, I have been playing your Fatal. I've very much dearly enjoyed this game, and want to just take a moment to enormously thank Rosie for being our groundskeeper and running for us, and Gehenna Games for hosting for the Women's History Month. I really think that these are important stories to talk about, and it means a lot. All that included, you'll find my random nerd girl thoughts over at Clarion Call. That includes announcements of projects that I am in, including Aberrant Atomic Youth and Sin City by Night, new edition. Love it. But no, thank you again so much. It's been a absolute blast.
Alex.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alex, and I work right under Kitty as a general employee of Build a Bitch. And I am under Daredevil Alex. I try to do a sexy kimchi thing as inspiration. Yeah, you can find me at Daredevil Alex throughout the interwebs. Thank you so much again, Rosie, and a huge applause to this cast and crew. We barely know each other a little bit, but what a great story people can weave. Such strong stories, and I believe it's a really great system. If you haven't played Bluebeard's Bride, I really recommend reading the whole book cover to cover because it's so well written, and get yourself into one of Rosie's games because she kicks ass. She makes me shiver from fear all the time, and it's very hard to keep up with all that horror. Honestly, it's a really you really need a lot of skill and finesse that Rosie has. So thank you. And yeah, anything that you want to hear about TTRPG designs, more streams, I'll be posting them on Twitter. So don't be a stranger and hang out.
And I have been your groundskeeper, Rosie, regular size mom. You can find me on Twitter at mom_sized or as Odd Duck Dice on the social medias because dice are pretty, so I make them. And you can find me, there you go. You can find me on Vorpal Tales on Thursdays and Sundays, playing Savage Supers and Mage the Ascension. Shit's hitting the fan in both those games right now, so we'll see how that goes. And I want to thank this amazing cast for agreeing to play this with me. Some of you were in my test runs of this concept, and I'm flattered that after that you still agreed to do this with me. And thank all of you for having even though this has been awful at various points, I like to think we've had a good time. So thank you. And thank you, Gehenna Gaming, for hosting this variation of Bluebeard's Bride. So again, thank you, our lovely audience, for joining us on Gehenna Gaming to watch Magpie's Bluebeard's Bride and my particular spin on it, Heritage Horror. I hope you have a good night.